What is going on, y'all? Cyperspectives, GeoFox. Those of you who know I have been basically carless without a vehicle going on 5 months. September. February 5th will mark 5 months. So, I've had access to transportation, but I haven't had my own car in 5 months, basically. So, I've been searching, I've been looking, I've been procrastinating, I've been researching, I've been looking at interest rates, going to dealerships. I was going to dealerships over the summer, and now I'm test driving and I got approved for a vehicle. But when you look at these prices, you look at the years, you look at the mileage, you look at the interest rates, we're in a recession, my job. If I'm basing my income solely off of my full-time job, I do not make enough money really to do a lot of things, right? If I'm basing it off of that, right? So it's intense. And it just got me thinking, and I made a Twitter tweet yesterday. If jobs are going to require you to have reliable transportation, don't you think jobs should also be required to pay living wages so you can actually afford reliable transportation? And then you think with today's cost of vehicles and the interest rates, the chip shortage, everything is just astronomically expensive and overpriced. I mean, we're basically, when you look at inflation is just a nice way to say you are being price gouged. They've marked up prices. A lot of our wages and salaries do not reflect the cost of living and definitely don't take inflation, aka price gouging, into consideration. A lot of us are still being paid like it's 2012. And it's not. 2012, $40,000 a year would have been decent. Hell, the average salary in the USA between 2000 and 2002 was $40,000 a year. So you have to ask yourself, why 20, 21 years later, 22, 23 years later, you're still offering the same salaries? There's a problem here. Okay, and I'm going to keep saying this. The federal minimum wage hasn't been increased since July of 2009. It has been $7.25 per hour federally in the USA since July of 2009. That's another reason why a lot of our wages and salaries are so low and stagnant. Then when you add in the fact that a lot of our professions are not really seen as they're not respected, they're not valued, because that's just it. You can see what professions are respected and valued simply by how much they are making. Because I'm going to say it, you will pay a tech person 6 figures with a 2-year degree, but then somebody with a master's degree is being paid the equivalent of what you can make at McDonald's, what you can make at Burger King, what you can make at Walmart. And don't get me wrong, right? Because the people at Burger King, the people at McDonald's, the people at Walmart, they deserve living wages too. Because we are all providing a skill. We're all doing a job. We're all sacrificing hours of our lives that we can't get back in a freaking pandemic for poverty pay. And the whole point of having a full-time job, the whole point of having a job, right, is to earn a living, and a lot of us are not earning livings. We're literally living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of us have to have 2 and 3 jobs, part-time jobs, side hustles, go without, struggle and sacrifice, beg and plead, rob Peter to pay Paul, rob Paul to pay Joseph, shank Joseph to pay Maria, whatever. We're going through hell. A lot of us are just struggling financially, and a lot of us are being forced to finance. So you're using a lot of credit, and then these interest rates are sky high. The Federal Reserve, they increase rates, and then you have private lenders and banks and what have you who, because the Federal Reserve okayed increasing their rates, they feel like they can do the same thing. And mind you, their rates were already higher because they're private. So it's just a lot. So anyways, I was approved for one of the cars that I was looking at, which is a 2019 Buick Encore. It's like a small mini crossover SUV. It's got 28,000 miles on it, 2019. But the used car prices are ridiculous. I mean, they want $19,244 for a car that's basically 5 years old with 28,000 miles on it, where if this was 10 years ago, that car would have been between $10,000 to $15,000. So, but my credit score is basically decent, so I was able to get approved with no money down, and my current price would be $358 if I only had the car note with gap insurance. It would be $407 a month if I had gap insurance with the warranty, and my interest rates is in the 5% range, and I don't have to put any money down. But that's not really a deal. I mean, it's a 5-year-old car. It's a 2019, so it was out in 2018, and it is 2023. It has 28,000 miles, which is rather low, for it to be a 5-year-old car with, that's not bad, but the price rank is too high. And again, why are we paying $407 for non-luxury vehicles? I'm just going to be real. To put it in perspective, my grandmother is driving a luxury vehicle, 2020 that she got in 2020, and her bill is under $400 a month. So why am I paying, if I get the highest, right, with the gap insurance and the warranty, why am I paying $407 for a used vehicle that's 5 years old that has 28,000 miles on it? But then my granny, was able to get a 2020 luxury SUV vehicle in 2020 and is paying under $400. So it just puts things into perspective. It's like, and I'm going to say it, the people who can actually afford to pay these things are getting the better deals. The people who can't afford to pay these things are getting the worst deals. And then mind you, I'm always thinking in my head, like, do I want to accumulate additional debt? Hell no. HE double hockey sticks. No, I do not. I'm over here with $46,000 worth of student loan debt, $2,000 worth of medical debt, $2,000 worth of credit card debt. And now you're talking about financing a car and putting an additional $19,244 worth of debt, which by the time you include interest at the 5% range, you're going to be paying $25,000 for a freaking $19,000 car. And it's like, what is going on? And for something that is 5 years old, it's not even new. And it's just a lot. So I'm going to be shopping around. They pulled my credit and everything. So I have 29 more days. You have 30 days in total to, shop around and look at other things. So that's what I'm going to do. It is, and don't get me wrong, it's a cute little SUV crossover, Buick Encore 2019. It's a small SUV crossover. It looks cute. It's got 25 miles per gallon in the city and 30 miles per gallon on highway, so it's got great gas mileage. It's cute. I'm not a super big guy. I mean, literally, I'm 5'6", if you must know. I'm 5'6". I'm so for me it's perfect, for that size and gas mileage piece is like, and then it has low miles, but it's just like, holy shizney, you know what I mean? It's just like, give a person a break. I mean, our generation, when I say our, I mean, really anybody can talk about this, but specifically I'm speaking for my generation, Generation Y, millennials and Gen Z. When I say we have gotten the worst our entire lives has been an economic downfall. We've never really experienced what it's like to have economic prosperity or a decent economy or a decent job market. We've never had that experience. I mean, literally, after the 90s, things just went downhill for the USA. And really, when I look at the job market in the USA and the economy in the USA, I mean, literally by the time 2007 rolled around, we were in a recession. So like, oh, I'm in high school, we're in a recession. I graduate high school, you know, we're just now getting out of the recession, but then we end up having the, you know, people lost a lot of their jobs, lost a lot of their homes, foreclosures. So you go to college, you're lied to, you're told to make an investment for the future and go to college. And a lot of us had no business going. I'm just going to be honest. Or we should have waited until we were like 25 to go, because at least by then you have some life experiences behind you and you can make some better sound decisions on, you know, what type of degree programs you're going to go into. But listen, I just think, again, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to figure some things out. But y'all, be mindful of the financial decisions that you make. You don't want to just be jumping at the first little hook, a little deal that comes your way, because obviously, in my opinion, these are not deals. We are literally being priced out of life and price gouged. This car shouldn't be no more between $10,000 and $15,000. It is a 5-year-old vehicle. It is used. Okay. You should not be paying $300+ for a used vehicle. I don't care. Think about it. Back in the day, 10 years ago or so, that car would have been between $99 and $250 a month. Because it is not a luxury vehicle. It is used. You know, like we have to keep in mind, you know, all of these details. But because of the chip shortage, the labor shortage, price gouging, inflation, recession, pandemic, mass death, global death, people dying, like I said, labor shortage, we're sitting here being overpriced on everything. And then, of course, you know, the capitalists, the powers that be, they use every excuse in the book to justify price gouging us. They do not care whatsoever. But let me finish eating my food, because I do got to get out of here in about 10-15 minutes, because I got stuff to do. I got to go look at cars. But I was not like, I done been through 2 cars in the past 5 months. Like my Malibu went out, the G5 died yesterday. I done put thousands of dollars into the cars, and I done got to the point where like, that's a waste of money. That's a down payment on a new car. You know, if I wanted to actually put money down, the money that I wasted on going to mechanics and local people that I knew to get repairs, I could have saved that and just got, you know what I mean? And then, but on the flip side, because my credit is somewhat decent, I don't have to put money down. So I think I am going to try to go the new car route. I think I'm going to lease a car, even though, because to me, buying a car new is a waste of money. It's not a good financial decision, because the depreciation value is ridiculous on cars. Like the minute you drive off the lot, you done already lost a nice percentage of the value. So it's not worth it. Where you could lease a car for 2 to 3 years, and then after your lease is up, they give you first dibs on buying it, and you can finance it that way if you want to do it then. And then by then, because of the depreciation value, it's going to be cheaper. And if you're smart, you don't put a bunch of miles on the car that you lease in, especially if you decide that you want to buy it later on. So it's just something to think about. But I think I'm going to end up leasing. I really do. I think I'm going to lease a car for 2 to 3 years and buy it. Yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like, because at this day and age, buying a used car, you're not getting a deal. You're paying new car prices for used cars.